bad enough, violent enough, that I think it tells the story without throwing in extra language. But it's a great question.
I think that was a good call. I just wanted to know your thought process behind it.
No, sorry. Do you have a question?
How did you first publish?
This one is self-published. I've had 2 books that were published by standard publishers and 5 others that were just self-published. It really depends on what kind of luck you have. I shopped this around, but I couldn't get any agents or any publishers interested in it, so I just did it myself.
Do you have an agent?
No. Agents are kind of a double-edged sword. I've had 2 in the past, and neither of them were really all that helpful.
What about Tony Agree?
Tony's the publisher. He's the publisher for Hydra Publications.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, then how did you first publish? How did you approach it? What did you do?
First, I shopped around for agents. There's a bunch of different sites that have agent listings. And I sent them information, sent them a query letter, first chapter. Some asked for entire manuscripts. And I sent it to them, and unfortunately a lot of them said no. So I just, at this point, by the time this book came out, CreateSpace is already existing. And I had already used CreateSpace previously, so I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and publish it myself. I'd rather have it be out there than not be out there.
It's called CreateSpace?
CreateSpace.
Oh, CreateSpace.
Yeah, it's Amazon's free service. They don't charge you to use it, but they get a part of the proceeds. A large part of the proceeds.
Can you just give like a general background of like what got you into writing, how long you've been writing, what kind of your other books are about?
Sure. I've been interested in writing since 8th grade. We were doing a career day in 8th grade, and it just came up. We were going through a bunch of different possibilities, and I'd written short stories and stuff for classes before, and I always liked writing. And being naive 8th grader, I said, wow, you can get paid to write? That sounds great. That's what I want to do. And then I found out there was a university called Temple University, which is in our own backyard, which at that time was the #2 school for journalism in the entire nation. So I thought, wow, I'll apply there and I'll get a degree in journalism and I'll become a writer. I did that. I went to Temple and got a degree in journalism in '91. And then I've always liked to write. I was a writer for TV Guide for 14 years. So that was really the closest that I got to using the journalism degree.
What are your other books about?
All over the map. As you can see somewhere here, I've written about a book about domestic violence. I've written a book about the Holocaust. This course is about pre-Civil War, the Underground Railroad. I've written about chasing Bigfoot, which is just a fun book that one day I decided it'd be great to write a book about Bigfoot. So out came that, and others. I wrote a mystery. My wife said to me one time, why don't you try writing a mystery? Maybe that'll sell. So I was like, sure. And I sat down and I wrote a mystery called The Vanilla Strangler. And that's based in Philadelphia, about a serial killer that strangles victims in Philadelphia. So everything about the book was my idea, except the idea to come up with an idea, which was Dawn's.
And the cover.
And the cover. Dawn designed the cover of The Vanilla Strangler and Amanda Rio.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, I didn't want to be pigeonholed into one specific thing. Like, I've written science fiction too. I'm working on my first, as I told Holly, my first sequel right now is to my second book, Amy the Astronaut and the Flight for Freedom. So I've got science fiction, nature fiction, domestic violence, and 2 historical novels. So I like to write about everything because there's so many different ideas. I have an idea page on my computer that's got now up to 70 ideas for different stories. So yeah, I'll never run out of ideas.
You have a publisher for...
I have a publisher for Amy the Astronaut. They're already interested in the sequel. I should have to actually write it. So that's good. And I had a publisher for The Vanilla Strangler, but unfortunately they closed. But the book is still out there.
I have 2
Sure.
questions.
No, go.
One, do you find it easier to put out a book with a publisher or without a publisher? And then the other is there a certain kind of genre that you've found as you're like touching on all these different genres that you've had more fun with or you found more challenging? Or?
Well, as far as publisher, I mean, it's easier to do it yourself because CreateSpace is very simple. I don't want to sound like an ad for Amazon, but it really is pretty simple. And you can get it out as quickly as within a month or 2. Going the traditional route, it takes a lot longer. I mean, if you're lucky enough to get an agent and then the agent gets you a publisher, the publisher can take like a year and a half or so for a book to get out. So you're probably going to have more luck with a publisher. than without. Because if you publish on CreateSpace, you're all on your own. Once the book is done, I mean, it looks great and all. They do a great job, but as far as marketing, it's all on you. And marketing, unfortunately, is like 98% of the battle. I love the writing and I hate the business side of it. It used to be, you know, a guy would, or a girl would write a book and publisher would take care of everything else. And that's not the case anymore. Now it's all on the writer to really be your own marketer, which is difficult.
I'll come back to it.
No, that's fine.
Because I started thinking about the same.
Well, the other question was, is there like a certain genre that
Oh, I'm sorry. No, actually, I liked them all. I mean, the fastest book I wrote was The Manila Strangler, the mystery. I wrote that in 4 months while working a full-time job. So that one came out really fast. Some of them take longer. Amanda Rio took about 2 years. Solo Yuti took about a year. I average about a year for a book from start to finish.
But that was also 4 months of locking yourself in a bedroom for 2 to 3 hours at night when you came home from work.
And so same with Amanda Rio. Amanda Rio was like 2 years of locking myself in a bedroom for an hour a night, every night after working. Of course, Amanda Rio is a lot longer. It doesn't look like it page-wise, but it is. It's over 100,000 words, whereas The Manila Strangler is about 58,000, so it's not as long. Hey.
When you're writing, do you jump back and add stuff as you're going on?
Constantly.
Or you kind of just go in order, and then once you finish the outline, do you fill in here and there?
Excellent. I actually, you hit on a good thing. I actually write an outline first for the entire book, and then I start working from the outline onto the book. But then, yeah, I'm jumping all over the place, coming up with new ideas. The outline is just that. It's really totally not in stone. I've taken total turns in stories that were not even in the outline, where I've come up with an idea halfway through and be like, hey, it'll be cool, and then do that, and brings up something else. So yeah, there is an outline, but I don't stick strictly to it. But if I don't do an outline, I found now it's harder not to do it. I've gotten so used to doing that first that if I don't, it's hard to just sit there and look at a blank page and go, okay, what am I going to do next?
Right.
Helps to have a guide.